Hi, I'm Laurie Caruso,
Hi, I'm Phil Bean.
and this is the Laurie and Bean Show. Welcome back. This is our show, our inaugural show here today. So excited to be here in North Hampton at the Airfield Cafe. We're sitting here with Scott Bassano. Yes? Yes?
Yes.
So excited to have you here, and thank you for having us.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
coming. Appreciate to be on the show.
Absolutely. So, really curious. Wow, what a change. I mean, compared to what we saw, I don't know, a year ago?
Definitely a different look, feel, but yet I hope we still have the warm feel of the old cafe. Definitely a big change, a lot more seating, better amenities for everybody. We're now handicap accessible. Really worked out good.
What made you go through this change? I'm curious.
So 6 years ago, we got a new landlord, and he suggested that we expand the business. At that point, I didn't think we really needed to. Quickly realized he was right. We've been working for 6 years to build the new building, and to get all those amenities. The handicap accessibility was a huge factor. Not being accessible in the other building, and we had no way to make it accessible without extensive renovations, really pushed us into doing what we've done.
Well, it's super exciting. I can see everybody here is having a great time. Really excited too. I mean, I was here not too long ago, and there was a helicopter that just landed there, and they just walked in for breakfast. See that happen a lot?
That happens all the time. It's pretty awesome.
Scott, congratulations. I was in with the granddaughters yesterday. They had a blast. They loved the display that's vertical, love the ceilings. Tell us about the back of the house and the challenges in this economy with keeping employees and as happy and as motivated and as professional as they are.
It's really tough these days finding people that want to do this type of work. And we're doing a few things different, trying to retain those people and allow them to work here and be able to make it a career versus just a job. We're now offering health insurance. We got a retirement plan, matching retirement plan for the staff, long-term, short-term disability, life insurance, trying to take care of them. But it is a very difficult challenge these days, front and back of the house. We're incredibly fortunate that we've had Jill with us 15 years. She's a huge part of our business. But it is a difficult time. Fortunately, with the new building, the kitchen's now air conditioned. It's a lot better work environment for my staff. I'm very fortunate. I have an incredible staff. They definitely make my business what it is. It's food, but there's a lot of personality to what goes on here.
Wonderful. And you own your own business. You have a family. You've got a new family member, a
Yes.
youngster. Tell us about that and how you balance that.
So it's been a big challenge the last couple of years between doing the expansion, continuing running the business, and we've adopted a new child, Lillian. She's our daughter now. Very special little girl. She's 21 months old. Did not, at this stage of life, expect that curveball, but she's awesome. Everybody's supported me. That was one of the things that was awesome. When all that happened, my staff backed me up 100%, allowed me to do what I had to do to take care of the child, and it's been pretty awesome. Talk about support. They are family.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, being in that you're in the breakfast restaurant business, would most consider you a morning person?
I would think I'd have to be considered a morning person. I don't know that I could do a dinner restaurant. I've been asked to. I don't see that as me being able to stay awake late enough. I tend to get up around 4:30 in the morning, like to do some walks down the beach, and come to work. Start the day off right.
Excellent. And do you actually get on the line and cook when you need to?
I do. I haven't done it in a little while because the group I have has done an incredible job proving to me that they don't need me back there, which has been great because with everything going on, it's allowed us to do this new building. I was a huge part of construction, and if I didn't have the people I had, I don't know that I could have gotten this done.
Yeah, I hear you on the construction piece. I bet you were very, very involved.
Oh, yes.
Especially this size.
on a daily basis.
Yeah, excellent. Well, Scott, we really appreciate you taking the time out to meet with us today. Excellent job here. We're going to be right back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. We're sitting here with Scott Bassano from the Airfield Cafe. Super excited to be here again. Thank you. So, totally curious. How did you get your start in this business?
So back in the 80s, we actually started off in the Hampton Falls Motor Inn. We had a restaurant called the Copper Kettle. My parents actually catered a Christmas party down the beach. The owners of the hotel asked my parents to consider running the restaurant at their hotel. So I was in junior high at that point when we started. It was family run. We then since moved over here. A good friend of the family that we were babysitting their kids was a air traffic controller at Logan. So he knew the owners of the airfield. They needed somebody to run the cafe here, introduced us. I was working for a furniture store at the time, told my dad I'd stay there, I'd help him on the weekends, and within 4 months I was here full time, family run. My sister works with me, she's in the kitchen as we're talking, my son's back there cooking, and my daughter's also working in the kitchen right now. My wife does the books. Our father was with us till he passed, but he's a huge part of this business, my family. And my extended family is all the staff. They're a huge part of what we do. I've got some great people. They're not just employees, they're family. And they all care about each other. I've got a special group of people. I'm very blessed.
Yeah, you definitely do. We actually went around meeting people right before the show, and incredible staff you have.
Thank
no
you.
question.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They're very fortunate.
Yeah, so being that you're on this airfield, how do you get around? How do you get to work?
It's very funny because I live at the end of the runway. So certain days I can walk to work, and other days I can drive here, but I'm
No
close
plane?
enough I can walk. No plane yet. My
How
son
many
does
eggs
have.
do you need to sell, do you think?
During the summer, we were hitting over 5,000 eggs a week. It was pretty impressive. This new building has definitely been working for us. It allows more people to get in. That was one of the things that was hurting us in the old building, not having enough seating, and now people can get in and enjoy a good meal.
Excellent.
Scott, we're excited to speak to Jill in a second. The key to your back of the house. Most restaurants just run a restaurant, or not just run a restaurant. That's extraordinarily difficult. Tell us about the construction effort in transitioning from your old platform to this platform.
So 6 years ago when we started the process, I got to work with the landlord. Todd was great to us. Let me work with his architects to design the kitchen and the dining room that we needed to make it work so that the flow would work correctly. I was incredibly fortunate that he allowed me to put my input. It was a long process, getting through the town, making sure that we appeased them so that they were happy with what we were doing. Then the construction phase, handling all the construction was long and hard. Being able to run the other restaurant and be here for construction was a true challenge. But it went relatively smooth. Took longer than expected, like all construction seems to. But I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, you did great. Love the stainless steel in the galley and outside the corrugated steel. Whose influence was that? I love
So that was the architect's idea. The stainless steel in the kitchen was all me. I got to design the kitchen. I did in being in the business for 30 years now, I made sure they got the kitchen that I would have wanted 30 years ago when I started. The amount of stainless steel in there, that kitchen glows. Bright sunny day, they can definitely see what's going on back there. Very fortunate. And they love the new equipment. Really gave them the tools they need to be able to handle what we're doing. Very fortunate to get to have a hand in all that.
Excellent. Well, Scott, we really appreciate you taking time today to meet with us. So much fun, and excited to have some breakfast in a little bit.
Sounds good. I hope you enjoy.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Welcome back, everybody. You're here, Laurie and Bean Show. We're here with our next guest, Steve Turner. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Excellent, absolutely. So, Steve, bring back the trades. I know that that's a big passion for you, and I'm curious, how did you get started with that? What is that all about?
Well, it's kind of a long story short. I'll try and make it short. I own Turner's Upholstery in Rye, New Hampshire. I've been in business 30 years. I've got one employee from California. I've had him for 12 years, but my business has been growing faster than I can get the work done. So I've been trying to get employees to my business, but cannot find help. So one day I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and decided to do something about it, and I came up with the terminology, bring back the trades, came up with a hat, and pretty much started from there.
Well, I know that it's definitely an interesting place to be because there's so many trades that are actually, we're seeing dissolve and dissipate, and who's coming into it. How are you looking at this to try to get people into this organization or any organization that has these challenges?
Well, it's not just me. We are an official nonprofit 501c now, so I've got a board, a whole bunch of board members, so there's a lot of people involved other than just me now, so which is a great thing. But we're trying to go to different schools to bring awareness to the problem of the kids not going into the trades. The average age of a plumber in New Hampshire right now is 65 years old.
Wow.
So we're in desperate need of fixing the problem. We're trying to bring awareness to the stigma of the trades. Like I described that, when I was in high school in 1986, I took automotive. If you went into an automotive class, most of the kids were covered with grease. You go into an automotive school today, or if you go into a dealership today, they're working with iPads. They're working with computers. There's not a lot of grease. It's a good job now. I mean, they were always good jobs, but it's a different job today if it was than in the past.
Steve, what has been the integration with the government at the state level? Your integration with the trade schools? There was one that just opened up in Hampton.
New Hampshire, yep.
Share that with the audience.
Well, we're a small business right now, so we're trying to grow, as much as we can. We don't really work with the government. We're basically just doing stuff, going to different schools, getting sponsorships. We just had Pella come aboard, to give us a lot of awareness of what's going on out there in the trades.
And at the state level, are you working with Governor Sununu?
We're trying to. Like I said, we just started, so there's a lot of things we're reaching out to. Kim Wood is my executive director for Bring Back the Trade, so she's doing all administrative stuff, trying to reach out to a lot of people to help us out. So we're just on the small part right now, growing, trying to reach out to as many people as we can.
So I'm in an industry very similar, just seeing this issue here. We're really focusing on sponsorship and mentorship. What are your thoughts there?
Well, like we discussed earlier, we're trying to, we just came back from one of the high schools, and we were talking to them about the different trades, welding, automotive, and they had 0 females in any of the trades classes. So we're trying to get some of our people that are involved in our industry that are females that are successful in like welding, automotive, to start mentoring, going into the schools, talking to these females, showing them, what's involved in the trade, bringing them out to their job, showing them how exciting it can be.
Yeah, I can see that actually being a challenge for sure. So, yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, you speak of females, but I think it's more also males. I mean, anybody, right? It's it's not just the female side of things. So when you start them early, how early are you starting them?
We're trying to get into the middle school, 7th, 8th grade. I mean, back when I went to school, in middle school, there was home ec. There was woodworking. A lot of the schools, they're not funded anymore because there's not enough kids getting into them, so they're taking the classes out of the high schools.
And I know you're in upholstery. Do you see one specific trade having more of an issue?
I would say plumbing and electrical. That's the most popular one that I see a lot. They're all bad. I mean, they're all desperate. And we were talking earlier, there's so many different trades that need help.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, Steve, and quickly, the technology base of the trades today, but also share with the audience how lucrative these trades are and the salaries that can be commanded.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to use numbers, but, plumbing, you can make over $100,000 easy. Welding, if you're in a union down in Massachusetts, not only the benefit packages, you can make $150,000. I know a guy that's a crane operator in New York, he's making $375,000 a year. Wow. So there's a lot of money in the trades.
That's good money. Thank you.
We definitely know that there's an issue. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Laurie and Bean Show. We're sitting here with a special guest, Steve Turner. Bring back the trades. Very interesting concept here because we definitely have an issue. And Steve, I'm curious. I know we were talking about students and how they can, go to school and they've got their schooling and the teachers' support. What about the families? How can the families and the parents help support this?
I would say, be more behind them as far as if they don't want to go to a college. And like I tell everybody, we're not against college. My son's a senior in college this year, so we're not against that. But just if they don't have any interest in going on to college, show them that there's more outlets, maybe a trade, to look into. And there's all kinds of different trades out there. So just be more behind them to help them out versus just saying college is the only answer.
Steve, you're the owner and proprietor for many decades of Turner Upholstery and Rye. Explain, please, how this whole trade issue and challenge affects your business and how you deal with it every day.
Yeah, my trade, upholstery, we do convertible tops and stuff like that, seats and stuff like that. But I've been in business for going on 31 years, been in it for 40-something years. It has changed dramatically. When I started, everything in a car, the door panels, everything came off with just a simple screwdriver. Today, you've got airbags. You've got so much safety involved. So training today takes way longer, and safety of the job is a lot more involved than it was when I went into it in the early 80s.
Got it. And at Winnicott High School, with the vocational pursuit and that pathway and that sojourn, explain what is going on right now in the trades and how the Winnicott High School responds to that.
Yeah, so Winnicott, they have a program that's called SST. It's over in Exeter, so it's a different building than over at Winnicott. I don't know exactly all the trades, but I know they have welding, agriculture, building trades, a lot more trades than that, but they are doing their job to help out the kids in the trades, and they're working with us at Bring Back the Trade stuff to help us out too.
Super.
Well, Steve, we know this is a really big passion for you. How do we find you? Tell the audience how we can find you and also help support this.
Okay. So we are on, obviously, Facebook at Bring Back the Trades, and we are also on the web at www.bringbackthetrades.com, or on Instagram also at Bring Back the Trades.
What about the scholarship program that you were also talking about earlier?
Yes, so we're giving out a scholarship throughout the school year, 9 times a year, to anybody that's going into a post-secondary school. You just have to go to the website. There's a scholarship page that you can fill out, and that's pretty much all. It's pretty easy. Basically, anybody that's involved in a trade can be eligible.
Excellent. Steve Turner, thank you so much for joining us. Bring Back the Trades. Interesting concept. We appreciate having you here.
And thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We've got a special guest coming up next on the Laurie and Bean Show. Welcome back to the Laurie and Bean Show. We have a special guest here, Jill Taylor. We're at the Airfield Cafe where Jill works. Jill, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
So Jill, I'm curious, how long have you been working here at this Airfield
I've
Cafe?
been here 15 years, going on 16 years.
That is impressive. Wow, incredible. So I know that you're here a lot. You must have a favorite meal that you love to eat here.
It's usually the steak sub, but with pickles. I love pickles.
I heard you love pickles.
I can eat a whole jar of pickles.
So can I.
If you just let me. I can eat a whole jar of pickles.
I think I might fight over at least one. Just one.
Okay, maybe one.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Jill, I was a dishwasher many, many years ago for the Dunphys, and they had a big hotel and restaurant in Hampton. Do you know that you have the most important job in this restaurant?
Yeah, I do.
And does the owner know that?
Yeah.
He does?
I have a really nice family that how can I word it? That helps me and helps take care of me.
I love it. You do such a fabulous job. And Scott was saying that you are doing some traveling later on this year. Tell us about that.
Pretty soon I'm going to Ireland for a week. I usually take a trip or two because I work really hard to deserve it. So I'm going to Ireland this year.
Wonderful. You have a great time.
Last year I went to Italy.
Wow.
So I've been almost all around the world almost.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Do you ever fly out of this airport on your trip?
No.
Not yet?
No, not yet.
So Jill, I know that you obviously live here because you are always here, right?
Yeah.
But I know also you have medals. You're doing Special Olympics. You're competing for swimming. That's pretty incredible. Tell me about that.
Well, every year, well, we do practice first to get ready for the meet and for the UNH Summer Games. And I've been doing that for a long time now, so I just do it because I like to swim. I just have so much medals that it's fun. I do it just because it's fun.
Jill, you're amazing. You really are. Thank you so much for everything that you do. We appreciate it. And I can't wait to come back here and see you again.
You're welcome.
Thanks for being here with us. We appreciate it. And we're going to take a short break after this. Thank you. We'll talk soon. We'd like to thank our guests today, Scott Bassano from the Airfield Cafe, as well as Steve Turner from Bring Back the Trades, and our special guest that we had, Jill Taylor from the Airfield Cafe as well.
And from the entire Northampton Channel 22 team, we'll see you next time
On Laurie and Bean.